Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Sipping Real Tea podcast. I'm your host, Reese. And yes, I am back for a lot. The turnaround has been a lot faster this time. I don't know. I forget when the last time I did an episode of this podcast, but it's been like fairly recently, right? I believe it was maybe like 2 weeks ago. Not quite 3 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago. Anyway, so thank you for downloading and listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. It is available everywhere you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button so you can get an episode whenever I put one out. I'm going to try to get on a regular schedule. I'm going to try. I promise. Yeah. That didn't sound very confident of me. My promise. So yeah, I'm back. It's been a I don't know. It seems like it's been like kind of busy, but maybe not. It feels like there's been like spurts of like big things happening, like big news or big rumors, and then the sort of slow downtime of this part of royal watching, unless you're interested in like Charles and Camilla, because they're always doing something. And if you pay attention to some of the non-British royals, they've been doing some things lately, so that's interesting. Maybe I'll do an episode where I talk about the Scandinavian royals and all of that, because they are interesting to me right now. And my queen, my beautiful Queen Letizia, whom I love, and she is my goddess. Maybe I'll talk about her because she's been busy lately too. Not in this episode though. This episode I have all planned out, and we're going to talk about that state visit that I missed. So yeah, I was here before the Trump state visit happened. So and I'm not talking about like any of the nasty Trump stuff. It's going to be the fashion, because that's what I was interested in for that whole visit. Everything else was just like a dumpster fire, and we don't want to relive that, but we can point and laugh at the Trumps, the Trump fashion. So yeah, we have that. We have some Kate news, some Meghan news, some Royal Foundation news. So before I get into that, let me tell you about my tea. I believe this is a tea that I've had on this podcast before, but I can't remember. It's the coconut ginger and vanilla green tea from Harney. It's their special like Royal Palaces tea. They have like this before I get into this, Harney Teas obviously is not a sponsor of my little podcast. Like they don't know that I exist. So, but I wanted to talk about this because it's like a special royalty that I'm drinking for my royal podcast. See what I'm doing there? So it's the coconut ginger and vanilla green tea, and it's the Royal Palace. It's the special Royal Palaces tea. They made like all these tins, and I got it because it's in like a pretty like bright green tin. And I'm gonna get. Should I collect all of these? Like the tin is kind of big. It takes up a lot of space in the cabinet, but it's really nice. So, and I like the pretty tins. And I don't need all of this. There's like 15 of these, but yeah. So I like this one, and it's like the historic royal palaces, and it's special. I don't know that it doesn't go to charity or anything, so I can't even claim like I'm doing something good by buying this. It would just be me buying a whole bunch of tea, just to buy it. But look, you can go to the Harney website and look at these tins. I'm coming back to get some of these because I only have 2 of them right now. I have the green tea, the green tea that I'm drinking right now, and I have the holiday tea. But I'm looking at the website right now, and I think I'm gonna order some. I'm gonna get this purple one, this Tower of London blend. I like the blueberry one, so I'm going to get that. Blueberry green tea, that sounds good. But I like the blue tin. And I'm going to get the Royal Palace tea because I like that tin too. It's a nice design. Oh, and I'm going to get the Diamond Jubilee tea because I like saying Diamond Jubilee. My favorite X-Men for a long time was Jubilee. She gets so much disrespect. Anyway, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to get all nerdy with the X-Men stuff. So yeah, let's get into this. The news. This royal news. So the big thing that came out this week, was it this week? Earlier this week was, well, there's a lot of big stuff that came out this week. So, and it's all rumors. So it's not even really news yet, but let's start with Meghan and British Vogue. So the rumors that came out, I don't even know where this started. Because I don't read a lot of the tabloid stuff. The first place I saw referenced was Us Magazine, Us Weekly or something like that, but then a whole bunch of other places picked it up. And so a lot of people were talking about it. So supposedly the tea is that Meghan is going to guest edit the September issue of British Vogue. She's going to write a personal essay, and it's all about, it's supposed to be a women's empowerment issue, and she's supposed to get like to tap like a few other women to write their own essays about whatever women's empowerment thing they're passionate about. There's no details really about it, but this would be really cool. I hope she does it. I hope this is like true. The other thing about it is though, she's not supposed to be on the cover. Which I think would be really, I don't know, a waste. And I'm not just saying that because I love Meghan and I want to see her on the cover of British Vogue. Well, I'm kind of saying it because of that, but still her name would be on the cover. Definitely. They would be using her name to sell that cover. So whether she's on the cover or not, her name is going to be splashed across it because, that's the big thing about it, right? That's the big thing about that. This upcoming September issue would be that she is doing she's going to be editing it. So, she wouldn't be doing the cover, at least according to all of the rumors I've seen so far, but she would be doing a photo shoot, for the inside. So for her essay, she would have like a pic for her essay, which is fine. I would still buy the issue. I'm going to buy the issue regardless, if she's doing it. But so yeah, but I want her to do the cover. And another big part of this is that supposedly she's taking whichever picture she's taking, whether it's for the cover or just something for the inside of the issue. She's supposed to be taking the pictures at Frogmore Cottage, like inside Frogmore Cottage, and that's one of the things I'm taking with like a pinch of salt, because if she does do something inside, I don't believe that we're going to see anything. I don't believe that, this is not going to be a home tour of Frogmore Cottage. I don't think we're going to see, like, if we see anything, it's probably going to be like some sort of sitting room or something like what Charles did. What did he pose for? Vanity Fair, I believe it was. He and Camilla, I believe it was for his 70th birthday. I think that might have been it. But so he took something. He took his. They did their photo shoot inside. What was it? Was it Clarence House or was it one of his other homes? I don't remember which one, but we got a picture of like a sitting room. He was like sitting in a chair, and so if she does do a photo shoot inside of Frogmore Cottage, I believe that is what we'll get. more likely thing I think we'll get is something outside, like in a garden, in what the garden around Frogmore Cottage, or even where they took their engagement photos, or all of their other photos because they take a lot of pictures around Frogmore um that we've seen. So I think it would be more likely that we'll get something that is around, like the grounds around Frogmore House, something like that. Um yeah, so I don't think we're going to get any pictures of their home. Like, people started getting excited. There were headlines for, tabloids and stuff, like, oh, Meghan's going to be taking photos inside of Frogmore Cottage. Like, we're going to get to see it. I don't believe that that's what's going to happen. So to be kind of like what Kate did when she did the cover of British Vogue, you know. So that'll be interesting. I hope it happens. So we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody. Because we all need this. We need this to happen. The other, big news, big Sussex news, at least, is that the Sussexes are taking a tour of Africa. They're not moving to Africa. They're not being banished to Africa like the rumor said last month, a few months ago, whenever it was. They're supposed to be taking a tour to Malawi, Angola, South Africa, and I believe somewhere else. I believe Botswana, maybe. I can't remember all four. I know those three are right. Malawi, Angola, and South Africa are the three that I can remember right off the top of my head. So it's supposed to be a 2-week tour. The palace hasn't announced anything yet, and according to who is it? Chris Ship. I believe Chris Ship is the first one that reported this. It's going to be a 2-week tour sometime in the fall. And so yeah. And it's going to focus on Angola has the landmine problem, and it's going to be like Harry taking up his mother's work, the work that Princess Diana did. And it's going to be expanding Sentabali, Harry's charity. So, that's cool. We're supposed to get news in July. And, I can't wait to hear about this, because this is going to be really interesting, because if they do it in October, Archie is going to be around 5 months old. And so, I don't think that they would leave him for 2 weeks to go on tour. So, and the little bits of information that we got, like, I don't know if any of this is true, but supposedly if they take Archie with them, Harry's going to be doing a lot of engagements by himself, and people are. I've seen a few messages on Tumblr, people worried about what they're going to do with Archie, how he has to get, obviously they all have to get vaccines to travel down there, and the vaccines for it's going to be a lot of vaccines for him, especially for specifically Angola. So I've seen a lot of concern about that, but it kind of makes me roll my eyes when people are like, oh no, what are they going to do with Archie? It's like, they're his parents. They're going to do what's best for him. It's the same thing that happened when they went, when they were on tour, last year, when they had to go to Fiji, and it was about the, what was it? What is that the mosquito bite thing? I forget what it's called. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. And everybody was so concerned, like, what is Meghan doing going there? Her, she's pregnant, she can't go. And it's like, no, Meghan is an adult. Harry and Meghan weren't going to do anything to to harm their unborn child. So I'm like, and this is from fans. It's not like from haters that you sort of expect the worst from. But it's like, yo, calm down, folks. They're going to do what's best for their child. They aren't they aren't going to put him in any danger. They're going to talk to doctor. Like, all of this is fine. If he does go with them, then it's because he can. So, calm down. So yeah, fall tour for the Sussexes, maybe. Maybe with baby Archie, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. And the other thing that happened, just happened last night. I'm recording this on Saturday morning, the day before Father's Day, the day before Prince Harry's first Father's Day. And the financial report for the Royal Foundation came out last night, this morning, I forget. And so it's very interesting because Meghan, they talked about the Together cookbook, and I believe the cookbook has made over like $567,000 or something like that. I forget the exact amount, but it more than doubled its the profits, and it's like really successful. And the book came out, I believe, in September. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but between September and March, it made $500,000. The Hub women are running that kitchen 7 days a week. It feeds over 300 people, I believe. What is it, a day or a week or something like that? It's amazing, that cookbook. So congratulations to Meghan and the ladies of the Hub. And yeah, so I got to get that cookbook. I was gonna buy it, but then I didn't. So I hope it's still on sale. I got to go check Amazon. I want to get that cookbook. And I'll actually force myself to cook if I buy that cookbook. Anyway, and the other interesting thing that came out is that the report also said that because the Sussexes created their own household, that there will likely be changes to the structure of the Royal Foundation. Now, we already heard the rumors about them, split, like just dissolving the Royal Foundation as it is now. So Harry and Meghan leave. I'm guessing that if that actually does happen, that the Cambridges will, keep the Royal Foundation. It'll just be the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And so Harry and Meghan will be, I guess, set up their own foundation, to do their own thing. Harry has Sensibale. I don't know. It just seems... because... Okay, so I guess Heads Together would be no more. And this is weird because they're still in the royal family. They'll still be working together theoretically. So I don't know that Harry and Meghan would set up their own foundation, because it would just be, would it get redundant? I'm wondering. Because, obviously, Harry focuses on the mental health of, soldiers, servicemen. Kate focuses on the mental health of, young children. William does it, I believe it's for fathers. So, I mean, I don't know. So we already know that there's going to be changes. There'll likely be changes. So, I'm not even going to speculate anymore. We'll find out when everything happens. One more thing I want to talk about before I get into the fashion. Something happened. What was it? Last week. Christine, I believe her name is, from Meghan's Mirror. I'm sorry, I forget her last name. But I believe her name is Christine, though. She's from, no, not Meghan's Mirror. She's from What Meghan Wore. the website that they identify all of the clothes that Meghan wore. They have another website, What Kate Wore. So, identify all their stuff too. So good places if you want to find, if you want to identify all the clothes that they're wearing. So she was on the Royally Obsessed podcast. Not not the current one, the one that came out, was it 2 weeks ago at this point, I guess. And she was, it was just an interview talking about Meghan's fashion and how her fashion has changed since she's, become the Duchess, and just, everything about how and why she started what Meghan wore. So the Daily Mail picked that up. I don't know who the writer was. I didn't read the article, but the headline, it was just not a very nice article, is what I understand. And it took what Christine said out of context and created a whole article around it, basically to bash Meghan. Because something she said on the podcast was she didn't think that, she thought Meghan was like ambitious. I don't see, people are going to get mad. I don't have the quote in front of me. She said something about, Meghan being ambitious and being too good to marry Harry is what she said. And that is how the whole article got created, from this podcast. So some Sussex fans picked this up and they screenshotted the article, and it got not very nice, and people were mad, and there's something going on with what Meghan wore, the website. People had a problem before that, and then they saw this, and it was like, oh, it just sort of, it was sort of confirmation bias. It sort of confirmed everything that they already thought already. And my thought was, I listened to that podcast before this article came out, so I already knew what happened. I just, when I heard the podcast, she was really nice. She was really supportive of Meghan. And there was, everything was fine about it. So once this got on Twitter, where everything sort of blows up, and nobody really does any research, and we just sort of get mad about headlines. So, people got mad at her, and I guess it really blew up to the point, because I got off Twitter. I wasn't on Twitter for a while, and then I came back, and they had, what Meghan wore had created like this sort of question and answer thing, because people have been like confronting them, I'm guessing for a while, on Twitter. And just one of the threads that I wrote, that people kept asking, what do they plan to do about it? Because she came back and she told, she said, hey, I didn't do an interview, because that was the thing. People thought that she had done an interview with the Daily Mail. And so she came back and she clarified. She said, no, she didn't do an interview. She didn't even know about the article until people started bringing them up. Like, her mentions started blowing up, and, and that's how she found out about all of this. Now, the question and answer thing I read, it seemed like fairly, I don't know. I don't have a problem with them, so I didn't. So it seemed fine to me. I didn't even think it required that kind of, I don't know. It just didn't require what she did, at least to me. Like, if you're somebody that already had problems with them before, then, it was for you. It wasn't for me. So I read it. It just seemed all very, I don't know. It seemed fairly thought out answers to the questions they were getting. And it was all kind of nice to me. But people were like, it was like, canceled like immediately. Somebody, the screenshot was out there and everybody was like, oh, this is what they do. They make money off of Meghan, and they make money off of Meghan's name and blah, blah, blah. And, this whole thing, that's never bothered me, but, other people have a problem with that. And another thing that happened that's, connected to this is Gert's, what is it? Gert's Royals. I believe that's what she called. She has a blog and she's on Twitter. I believe it's Gert's Royals. She sent a letter to Harry and Meghan, I believe, for the birth of Archie. I forget. She donated money, to some charity in honor of the birth of baby Archie. And she got a letter back from the Sussexes, and she posted it on on Instagram. And she has a good amount of followers, a few thousand followers, and I think she's a fairly popular blogger, or I don't know whether she has a whole blog, but I knew though she's on Twitter and Instagram and all that. She's fairly popular in like royal circles, like the royal fandom. And she, what she posted, I believe, was she was hoping that she would have gotten a picture of Archie, or something like that. It was a fairly innocuous comment. The Daily Mail, once again, picked that up. And, it said that she was, she seemed happy that she got a response from the Sussexes, but then, it framed, the comment about she was hoping that she would have gotten a picture as, she was being like, she was basically, they were saying that she was shitting on Harry and Meghan for not sending her a picture because she made this nice donation. I should be clear that people also have a problem with her. So once again, fans picked that up and they thought that she did an interview with the Daily Mail too. It wasn't the case. They just picked up her, her post on Instagram, and people got mad once again. And the question that keeps coming up, like, what do you plan to do about this? The Daily Mail has slandered you, or what is it slander or libel when you write whatever they said, the Daily Mail has basically ruined your reputation. What do you plan to do about it? And that just seems like it's basically a what the fuck to me. I don't understand it, because what Meghan wore and Gert's Royals are fairly small time. This is not me like being shady or shitting on them or anything. They are not, I don't know their financial situation. Maybe they, both are like very rich. They have the money to, I don't know their money thing, but I'm guessing that they're just, kind of regular people and they don't have millions of dollars sitting around to, sue the Daily Mail or pursue the Daily Mail for, slander, or this is not even slander. The Daily Mail is doing what a few websites have been doing lately, and I've seen it with the Daily Express specifically. They listen to some of these royal podcasts, or they'll read, some of the bigger like royal bloggers or something like that. They'll read like a post from them or something, and then they'll do whole articles around them, mostly about Meghan, or, the animosity between Meghan and Kate. Like, they'll pick up these things from supposed, and they call them experts in the article because they're doing a royal podcast or something like that. And so they basically get, extra content for not a whole lot of work. Because the women of Royally Obsessed, they make it clear they're not experts on, the royal family. They're just, like the podcast title says, royally obsessed. They're just fans. They also happen to be writers for The Cut. Both of them. I forget their names. So, they can't, like, these are things that are already out in the public domain. Podcasts are obviously free. So are all these blog posts and, Instagram. You can pick up anybody's Instagram post. So in both cases with Gertz and with what Meghan wore, what happened, both were mischaracterized because they, people thought that they were doing interviews with the Daily Mail, which wasn't the case. And they can't do anything about it. Unless they have a lot of money in order to, and this is minor shit. I know Meghan fans, I'm a Meghan fan, I love her, but there's nothing that they can do about the fact that, the Daily Mail has, decided, or not even just the Daily Mail, but all of these other places, these other websites have decided to start, listening to what these people say. It just gives them more content, and that's what they need. They need to be constantly like trying to clickbait people. So they pick up these podcasts, but there's nothing that these people can do about it, just because they could message the Daily Mail, I guess, but the Daily Mail doesn't give a fuck about what these people think. There is no, like, even if this was illegal and, both Gertz and what Meghan wore wanted to pursue this, the Daily Mail could keep them, they could keep this going forever. So unless these people have like unlimited, money to, continue to pursue this, it's just sort of, I don't know. It's just, there's nothing that they can do about it. And I don't know what people expect them to do. And because the question I kept seeing was like, what do you plan to do about it? And it's like, I don't know, nothing. Like, they're not going to do anything about it because there's nothing they can do. Now I know one of the answers that the what Meghan wore people gave was that they could have spoken differently. They could have watched their words better, but it's like, yeah, they could have, but not if you listen to the podcast in context, it was not bad. She gave a genuine opinion about, what she thought about Meghan. And it's like, if this is not bad, if you're not saying anything bad and her words get twisted or taken out of context, like, I don't know. And I just think to ask someone to like to ask someone or to expect someone to be so cautious in what they say that they don't say anything that could possibly be taken out of context. I just think it's asking a lot of a person to, sort of filter their words in that way. Because I even see fans on Twitter saying nice things, and I'm like even that could be taken out of context. So I don't know what people. Twitter is just a place that just feels like people are just looking to fight. People are looking to be upset. A lot of times on Twitter, and it's just so bizarre to me because the things that some fans expect, and this is not just Sussex fans. This is on Sussex fans, Cambridge fans, just all over. It's just like, maybe step away from Twitter because that place just gives you like a really skewed perspective about what's happening in the world. And, it just sucks the fun out of everything. So let me step down off of my soapbox and get on to the fun stuff because I really want to talk about this fashion. So let's start with this Trump state visit because it was a mess. So the Trumps rolled up into Buckingham Palace like, straight out of the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh my God. I'm not talking about the dudes. Let's start with Melania because Melania, I know a lot of people liked what she wore. the dress that she showed up to when they first met the queen and, you know, Prince Charles and all them, she wore navy and white. It was very they called it it was very like Jackie O. Um it was, I liked it. That was one of the looks that I really that I liked. Um, but even with that one, something about it was off to me. Now, the what the fuck girl said, you know, maybe it was a little too tight. I'm not, you know, I'm not slut shaming or body shaming her, but it was just, I don't know, something about it was kind of off. I like the overall the aesthetic of it, but it was just not. It was not great to me. Something about it was off, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Um, and the rest of Melania just was just for her for the whole trip minus one dress. Everything about it was just not quite right. It didn't feel, everything about what Melania wore the whole trip just felt off to me, except for her red Givenchy cape dress. It was, that dress was gorgeous. She looked great. Um, but had it had the effect of making me kind of mad because I was like, God damn it. Meghan could have wore that. Meghan would have looked great in that dress, and now she can't wear it. So thanks a lot, Melania. Um, Ivanka. Oh, Ivanka. She looked terrible. Like, and Ivanka, you know, whatever you think about her, usually has a pretty good sense of style. Girl looked bad. She just looked bad. Um, she wore this white she wore, she wore this like white suit, you know, white white blazer and dress, and it was like peplum and pleats. It was a mess, and she had on the hat. The hat that was like pulled down over her forehead was just, it was awful. I don't even know what she was thinking. Um, the dress that she wore to the state dinner was who was it? Was it Carolina Herrera? I believe it was. It was just, it was the wrong, first of all, it was the wrong dress for that event. It was like, it was way too casual. That was a dress that you wear to, like, she could have totally been the host of like a birthday party or something like that here in the States. That was not like, that was a Hamptons dress. That was not a dress you wear to the state dinner at Buckingham Palace. It was not. Um that was awful. And then that poor baby Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany Trump, who I have no idea why any of those people were there, but it's Tiffany, like the forgotten child. Um they trotted her out there in like this burgundy like prom dress. She was like squeezed into it. It was awful. It was truly awful, and I feel so, I feel so bad for her. Like, who is it? Ivanka looked bad, but at least, I don't know. It was bad. I don't want to. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it was just all terrible. You know, Melania had the one standout. And I know people like that white dress that she wore to the state dinner. I hated that thing. I didn't like it. It was like, it looked like it was kind of like pageanty to me. You know, it felt like a pageant dress. And then she had on those white gloves, and it was just like, ugh. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Let's talk about my girl Kate, because Kate went to the state dinner. She wore her new sash with her royal orders, her new royal orders for the first time. And I was like, great. And I saw that dress. The first time I saw her dress, of course, it was Alexander McQueen. Um, and I saw it for the first time, and I saw it on my phone. I was like, oh my God, you know, it's this white dress, this white ruffled dress. And I was like, wow, she looks really pretty. And then I saw it, you know, on my computer, and I was like, oh no, oh baby, no. It was like, it was, you know, it was like this full, like ruffled dress, ruffled gown. And it was like, E. It was like the normal Kate silhouette. It was it's off the shoulders, and it was like, oh, and I dubbed it the Monet. Um, that was the first thing I thought of when I finally saw it up close. I was like, oh, this is the Monet. And if you've seen Clueless, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen Clueless, go look it up. Um, and so yeah, that was the state dinner. Hopefully, they'll never have to talk to the Trumps again, and that is it for Trump with royalty. Ugh, ugh. So the next thing is Trooping the Color. Meghan was back. Yay, Meghan. Um, I was so excited to see her. I thought that she would go. Like, I was like 99.9% sure that she would go to Trooping the Color, but you never know. So she was there, and she wore, just overall for Trooping the Color, nobody was special. Like, Megan wore navy. She wore navy Givenchy or navy Clairway Keller. Um, and so she wore like a navy cape, and I believe, I forget who her hat was from, but it was like, it was all navy. And when she got to the balcony, she had taken off the cape, and it was like this really cool dress. It had white shoulders on it. Like white shoulder accents. Like, we couldn't get a view of the whole dress. So but I did like that. I hope I don't know if she'll wear it again, but I wanted to see the whole thing. And there was we never got a look at the whole thing. So, but it was navy. It was comfortable. She looked so beautiful. She was glowing. So yeah, um, you know, but overall, it was nothing special. Um, what Megan wore was fine, but it was like, it was nothing special. Like, it's not memorable or anything. Um, Kate wore yellow. She rewore the hat that she wore to Meghan and Harry's wedding. Uh, I like the hat. That hat is really nice. But overall, just the whole all the fashion at Trooping the Color this year was just kind of like, I felt like I had seen everything before. And obviously it was because people did rewears, but I just felt like I had seen everything before. Princess Beatrice wore a dress that Sophie wore before. I don't think they I don't think they shared the dress, but it was this pink dress. I liked the dress, but it was like, eh. Like, it was like nothing was special about it. Autumn Phillips, as usual, looked very nice. I like the color that she wore, but um and it kind of looked like she and Sophie were wearing the same dress, like in different colors. But I never went back to look it up, so I don't know whether whether it was the same dress or whether I was just whether it was just in my head. So yeah, Trooping the Color happened. Megan was there. Prince Louis was super cute, and he almost knocked Camilla's hat off a couple of times with his wave. So that was all good. That kid has a great stink face. like his scrunched up stink face was just like the best thing. So yeah, that was Trooping the Color. you know, meh. Maybe next year. Maybe next year everybody will do something better. Maybe they'll bring Archie out, and yeah, I'm not even going to think about next year yet. Let's just keep it moving, because Kate went out again. She went to the, what is it called? The Action Addiction, like, was it a gala or like a dinner or something like that? Yeah. The Action on Addiction gala dinner Kate went to, and she rewore a white dress by who was it called? Barbara Casola. So she first wore the dress in 2016, and it's this long sleeve off the shoulder dress that I kind of like. like I'm sort of mixed on this dress. I know it's really popular. People like people that on Tumblr were losing their shit about this dress. And it's a nice dress. I don't love it, but I do like it. It's she looked really good in it. Uh so she wore it for the first time in 2016. She brought it back out this year. And her best accessory was her hair. Like her hair looked great. Uh but her other accessories were kind of like now she wore a glittery shoe, which your girl loves. Like I love a glittery shoe. I've got what, like at least four pairs of glittery shoes. I got two pairs of like glittery sneakers. I got a pair of glitter boots. Um so yeah, glitter shoes, like you always win in my book. Like no matter like it's if you throw on some glitter shoes, I love them. And I love her shoes too. She wore a pair of she wore a pair of her Jimmy Choos. But they were not the right shoes for this dress. It looked better. The way she styled it the first time she wore it was so much better. I believe she wore nude pumps then. She could have worn like a sandal with, with the dress this time and it would have looked so much better. She also had this really nice clutch that I like. It's a silk clutch with a silver bee brooch on it. That was nice. So yeah, it was basically the shoes for me. The shoes that I could have done without with this outfit. But overall, she looked nice. And her hair, like I said, best accessory that night. Um, so Kate and William also went out. They went like visited farmers or something like that. I wasn't particularly interested in that, but she did look nice. She has these nice Chloe hiking boots that I really like, and I like the jacket that she wore. I forget this, this green jacket, lots of pockets. I really enjoyed. So yeah. Um, so yeah, she had a pretty good week. Um or pretty good, well, yeah, this week better than, the state dinner and all that. Uh you know what? I've been thinking about what I've been thinking about lately is that Kate has been like not doing great with the um her dresses for the last two state dinners that she's gone to, not great. Like she wore that blue, was it a state dinner? I forget what it was, but it was a tiara event, so it must have been a state dinner. She wore that ice blue dress, that ice blue like terrible prom dress. Oh, I hated it, and I didn't like the dress that she wore for the Trump state dinner either. Like she hasn't been like mm, it hasn't been on point lately. She needs to do better. Or McQueen needs to do better or something. I don't know. I haven't liked those dresses. Like that blue dress, that ice blue dress that she wore in the fall last year was truly terrible. Like it was ugly. Yeah. So be better, Kate. Be better for me because I want Tiara events and I need her to do better. She's gonna be there all the time. Um, that was mean. Was that mean? I'm not trying to be mean. Um, because she's worn some like great dress, like the dress that she wore to the BAFTA award. Was it the BAFTA awards? Last year. Great dress. That one shoulder white dress. Awesome. Why can't she wear that? I don't know. Just her stage dinner dresses, not great. The last few times we've seen her. So yeah. Anyway, this episode is getting long, so I should probably end it right here. It's almost an hour. That's way too long to listen to me talk, right? So what do I want to tell you? I'm gonna do another episode. Um, I don't know, in the next 2 weeks. Maybe I'll do a new episode next week. Father's Day is tomorrow, like I said. So fingers crossed, everything crossed, hoping we get a post from Sussex Royal for Father's Day. And maybe like if we all wish really hard together, we'll get a picture of Harry with Archie. And not just a picture of Harry's hands and Archie's hands, but we'll get like a full body shot of that baby with him. Because before I go, Harry spoke about Archie yesterday. Harry went to it's the 70th anniversary of the Commonwealth, and he went to a garden party, and somebody asked him about Archie, or I don't know what they said. It doesn't even matter what they said. What he said is that, Archie is getting so big, and it's like, oh my God, our baby is getting big. Of course he's getting big, but he was like, I believe his exact quote was like, he was such a little baby, and now, a month along, he's getting to be such a big boy, and I'm like, oh my God, we need to see him. But if we don't get like a full picture of him, with Harry, which is my hope and dream, and it would make my life. We're going to see him for his christening. And his christening is June right now. So his christening will probably most likely be in July sometime. So we should get like our first official portrait of him. Or our first official like real look at him. As like not just like a tiny baby in their arms. We'll see how big he's gotten. I can't wait. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, I can't wait. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it right here, you guys. And follow me on Twitter. I'm at Sipping Royalty. I'm at Sipping Royalty all over social media, on Instagram and Tumblr. I'm mostly on Tumblr though. You all probably know that, right? So you can always catch me on Tumblr. So yeah, follow me on the socials, and we can chat about all the fashion. We can talk about how to make Kate wear her better dresses at the state dinners. We can talk about how to get Meghan to wear another color other than navy. Like, okay, so I was cool with her wearing navy. Like, it doesn't matter what I was cool with. She was comfortable. Like, she's comfortable in navy. She likes navy a lot, but she looks so good in colors, in other colors. So like, yeah, we need to all like talk about how we need Meghan to wear more colors, because she looks so good in them. Especially red. I want her to wear red and green. I'm just going to sit here naming colors when I just said she looks good in color. So, yeah. So until the next episode, ladies and gents, later.